Welcome to the Autonomy Unlimited AI Tools of the Week, the podcast that's going to be bringing you the latest AI tools and technologies in a way that's easy to understand for everybody. Whether you're new to AI, curious, or against, our show is here to provide you with some inside tips and to be able to check out this wonderful world of AI tools that are coming out. That has uses for every aspect of our life, is transforming like on a daily basis. The amount of tools that are coming out is more than anybody could possibly keep track of. I saw a quote of more than 2,000 AI tools came out last month, and it's only exponentially growing because tech is becoming more efficient, cheaper, and people are learning from each other and just really making some amazing services. So join us each week as we explore the wonderful world of AI and showcase some of the best tools and practices. Along with me, I have a wonderful team to kick this podcast off. We have Leah.
Hi.
And Stephanie. And Cody.
Hey, y'all.
So these are all team members within Autonomy students. Some of them work in Autonomy Unlimited. They all have their own interests in technology. And so we're going to be just showing up each week and talking about some of the cool things that we've came across. There is a lot to choose from. And so I'll kick things off and we'll just start off with something that I just started testing out. And this is still generating, so I'm gonna look at something else. But okay, ChatGPT. I'll start with that. ChatGPT is one of the first like AI tools that I got to start using, and it is basically a communication tool that you can essentially do a lot with. So I'm now starting to use this in lots of areas of my life, including, coming up with ideas. So I just recently came up with Pocket Survival, 10 must-have items to keep you prepared. I came up with this idea on the couch and I said, oh man, I was wondering, what if this would make a good lead magnet. So I tossed this in here and it spit out what it thinks, 10 must items you must have to keep you prepared. And this is just to help out with the blank sheet problem of creativity. This gives you something to work with. And from here, I was able to be like, no, yes, and create my own version of a lead magnet relatively quickly. But it really helps with the start of this. We're going to be going into ChatGPT a lot deeper in future episodes. So I wanted to just kind of give that honorable mention because it was kind of the first tool that I started to use. Does anybody else have one handy to get the show started?
I can show a logo generator. So the reason that I was excited when I heard about this is that I'm trying to come up with an online course and membership, names, branding, logos. Also, I'm really not sure how I feel about AI. So I figured, something that just makes a logo, hey, that's not really too techy. So I will pull that up. I also discovered this thing called Simplified. I don't know if you guys have heard of this, but it's kind of like Canva mixed with like tools for making social media posts and ChatGPT like on the side. So like you don't have to switch between windows. So that was kind of cool. Just to know that that's there. So this is a logo I made earlier. And it's really easy. You just tell your industry, maybe we'll do marketing. And then you choose some of these that you like. And then you choose what colors you want. And then you give it a name. Autonomous Lab, I'll say. You can give it a slogan if you want. And then it asks like what type of symbols you might want. Like, I don't know, I'll just choose a couple. Analytics, I guess. And I'm just going to let it do its thing without choosing any of those. But yeah, so then you choose from here. And like, once I choose one, I can edit it, the colors, the font, everything. So that's pretty cool. And that's something I'm comfortable using as well. But I'm going to be looking more into like course platforms and, email marketing, things that I can use. So I don't know if it's really going to qualify as AI, but I do need to learn about some tech.
Yeah, maybe we can just quickly talk about, the philosophy of AI right now, because I don't think artificial intelligence is accurately depicting what these tools are, because artificial in, the way I think of it is like, it's like thinking for itself, that it's its own sentient being. And if it's not that, what would we call that? Because it's not, so I see these things as like calculators, and you're able to punch in and get an outcome from what you are punching in, and it can't operate without the initial aspect of it. Leah, what do you think about that?
So I'm going to use a metaphor. And first of all, I want to say, yes, this is not artificial consciousness. This is just automated intelligence. Okay. And if you would think about the movie, A 2001 Space Odyssey, at the beginning of the movie, in the theoretical Darwinian timeline of humanity, you see that at one point, the ape picks up a bone and he realizes he's got technology and he can beat the other apes with that technology, and he could have the power over everyone else. And that's, the first grasp of technology in that timeline. Then if you skip to the future when they're in space, Hal is the artificial consciousness. And what does he have? He's got the technology, that entire system being able to turn the air off, control the environment, and kill the people on the ship because he deems them to be a threat. It's the same mindset as the ape first learning that he could pick up a bone because he's at a primitive state of consciousness. Hal is at a primitive state of consciousness, and he's just realizing he's got that bone. So that's artificial consciousness. That's my metaphor, and we're not there. And if we want to toe the line and continue to battle the powers that should not be, we're going to need to learn some of these tools and use them ethically, use them with with our heart-based consciousness to be able to compete, because they've already got, look at the technology they use to put out media, and look at the technology we use to put out media. So the divide is going to go insane if we don't try to keep up with some of this stuff, learn it, and use it against them. So in order to toe the line, we have to be able to learn this kind of stuff. And I'm just at the very beginning of it myself. And so that's my opinion.
Well, thanks for that. And I look forward to diving deeper into the philosophical aspect of these tools. And I'm experiencing this right now where I'm like, okay, where's the edge, right? Where do I ethically need to draw the line in the sand? And with like this overabundance of, powerful tools, I really don't know, but I know when I cross it, right? And I think I just found a boundary that I don't feel comfortable with that I'll show you right here. And then Leah, if you have anything you want to highlight for the week, I'd like to hear that right afterwards. So this is photo to video, where you can animate your family photos, right? So, grandma who you have a photo of that, is up in the attic, and, you've never really met her or you don't really remember her. You can now take this and for free, be able to upload the photo and animate this process to create these videos. And I did one for myself. Let's see if, oh yeah, I can show one right here. I did one of myself, and it was cool. And I thought, well, it gave me weird feelings to like see this, see myself. This is my 6th grade self in an animated form, which kind of tantalizes the brain a bit of like knowing aspects of myself more back then. But then also, obviously it's not perfect, and so there's a little bit of creepiness crawling in there. But I'm pretty sure I hit a line where, knowing who this company is, MyHeritage, right? They actually do DNA testing, and they want people to use this free tool in order to create a digital family tree. And that's kind of their whole surface. So that's crossing my creep line factor. And like, I'm not going to be using this anymore because I don't want there to be digital understanding of my family tree that's outside of my ownership. So that's an example of I came up to that line. Now you guys learn from me that if you're not comfortable with that too, you don't have to test it out with a picture of your 6-year-old self.
A lot of these generators, you have to read the fine print, because in the free versions, many times they end up owning and licensing your content. Sometimes in the subscription versions, you don't have that stipulation. So it's a matter of just reading that fine print to make sure that you do own your content and your things. But that's a great tool if you just used it for your own creations.
Yeah.
It's benign in that sense.
Yeah.
So I've found this one that's very practical and useful for people who may be shopping for real estate. Let me share my screen. Okay. And this one is just basically, it shows the trends in the market, and you can just go and put in your zip code, and it's going to show you the forecast of what's happening in that market. So people are basically selling their homes in certain areas when they realize that the forecast is going to be very low. And this can also help people who are shopping for homes to be able to find a forecast. And, we know the market had gone crazy for a few years, and now we can sort of get a little grip on it and make some good decisions based upon some forecasting.
That's a 6-month forecast.
This one, I couldn't really see. It looks so from June
22, 23.
to May 23. That's about a year.
Okay.
That's about a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So halfway is about 6 months. Yeah.
Wow. Cool, Leah. I'm going to keep this train moving. Cody, do you want to talk about what you've been playing around with this last week? You got about 2 minutes.
Yeah, well, in short, I worked with a tool called Blue Willow. It's an AI art generating text to image, and I've been trying to play around with generating images for my book, but it doesn't do a super good job at doing exactly what you tell it to. It kind of spitballs very vague ideas alongside what you do. If you tell it, generate a plane in the top left corner, it'll make a plane just wherever it feels like putting it.
And what were you using it for?
For the fantasy novel about dragons in my book, which it also doesn't do a super good job of making dragons, I guess, because they're not as common of a thing. But like it would do things, like 2 bodies with 1 head, tails and feet fused together, and these like interesting statues almost that are like stylized statues almost, and I had to generate a couple versions of those where it's interesting, but it's not what I was hoping to generate for the book.
Yeah, and it's, I think images is coming a long ways, especially is is coming a long way. So it really depends on how specific you're able to give it details, and then it will try to follow those directions. And then you can continue to refine and refine and refine those. So to play around with this, I think you can go to bluewillowai.com or look it up on a search engine, and then it will essentially give you a link to Discord. And then in the Discord, it's really easy to get started. Once you join the room, you then basically just put in imagine \imagine prompt and then space, and then you give it the description that you want. So cat that is red. Obviously you want to do more than that, but then it will then start generating while it's servicing everybody else. And so just in a matter of a couple minutes, you'll be able to see what it brings to you, and then you can refine it, and really, create some really fascinating things. While that's kind of generating, and I'll try to see if we can jump back into it. We have just a couple minutes left in today's episode, but one more cool tool that I wanted to showcase is this one. This is pdfgpt.io, and this is essentially ChatGPT that will scan PDFs. And so I'm putting in the Global Strategic Trends 2040. This is a document that Richard brought to my attention of it's the Ministry of Defense in the UK, and they create these basically think tanks that project into the future of the world that they want to create. And you go through it, and it's pretty terrifying, but using this to demonstrate this powerful tool of this just scanned, right, in that amount of time, is like a 40-page, dense PDF that the concepts, words are rather, expert level. And so it will then spit out prompts to ask further questions on this subject. So I'm going to play with this later because we got to wrap this show up, but very powerful, something worth checking out. And I'm going to be playing with a lot more. I haven't even told Richard Grove about that yet. Thank you all for joining us. This is kind of our pilot episode. If you got value from this, if you think that you'd like to watch this for upcoming weeks, let us know. Was there things that you would like to see highlighted in the show? This is really our first test of doing this. So we'd love to hear feedback from you so that we can refine and make this as entertaining and valuable as possible. Short, condensed look at new AI tools coming out week after week. I don't think we're going to have any shortage of things to discuss or showcase, and I look forward to our ethical decisions that come from this as a community. And I'll be refining myself about not just jumping into every AI tool to test it out without consequences. Thank you all for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next week.